like to also take a moment to recognize these individuals for their support and thank them for their encouragement, their guidance, and contributions to all of the graduates. First, I'd like to invite the spouses and partners of the graduates to the stage. Thank you. We know what the supportive takes. Now, we would also like to thank the children of our graduates. Will you please stand and be recognized? Thank you, children. Parents and guardians of the graduates, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. All right. Grandparents, siblings, aunts, uncles, extended family of our graduates, anyone who's here who's a member of a family, stand up. And lastly, if you're a friend of a graduate, stand up. Thank you all. Thank you all. And finally, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge all the people who made this possible today. From those who prepared the space, coordinated every detail, to those who will stay after to ensure everything is cared for, thank you. To the teams who will keep our campuses running, keep this place clean, and I need to take a moment and thank our interpreters. All of you who keep the lights on and bring every element of this celebration together, thank you so much. As we honor everyone who helped this day possible, we now turn to those at the center of this celebration. We are here to celebrate your unwavering dedication, to learn, to building your knowledge, for the expertise you provide, to advancing the qualities that serve all of us. Share this celebration and show us the path forward. Thank you for all you do. If you have some time here, we would like to allow you to take a moment to speak to each other.
This is fun.
You've demonstrated what it means to be a leader, to challenge convention, to live your truth, and to embody your purpose in ways that inspire and uplift others. As you go out into the world with this foundation, this unwavering foundation, we are aware of the limitations that this will come. Your journey is likely included long nights, 70 hours crammed into your children,
purpose and connection, and a gap to work in community and lead through partnership as one transforms structures and systems. I could not again be more delighted. Please join me in welcoming.
Good morning, Adler University. Yes, sir. Great. So you are esteemed University President, distinguished faculty and staff, friends, families, cherished friends, and most importantly, the phenomenal graduating class of 2025. I extend to you my sincere gratitude and profound sense of humility. I bring you greetings from the President of Liberia, Josiah Joekai Sr. The President congratulates the entire Adler University family for their immeasurable contributions to the advancement of quality education, equity, and transformative education through an inclusive and flexible academic programs. Today is the moment etched in time. Today is the moment that reminds us that the power of perseverance, the beauty of purpose, and the unshakable force of hope can coalesce to produce something truly extraordinary. This stage and this moment feel nothing short of divine. And yet, I must be honest with you all, my presence here today is by every measure improbable. It was never a straight path. There were no easy roads. As a national public servant, a husband, a proud father, and a diverse student, I often found myself standing at the intersection of impossibility and purpose. I wore many hats, often simultaneously balancing lectures, Zoom meetings, family, work, and wrestling with research by night. I sacrificed sleep. I missed moments. I doubted. I stumbled. And I paused. But I never surrendered. Then what sustained me? First, faith in something greater than myself. Second, the unwavering support of a woman whose strength is matched only by her grace, my wife, Joanna. Joanna, you are the person and the reason I am sitting here today. When the nights felt too long and the goal too distant, you said, you cannot stop. Others have walked this path before you, and you will walk it too. You didn't encourage me, you anchored me. I am profoundly grateful that you are here today along with our three incredible sons, Menina, Zeke, and Bakole, whose laughter, curiosity, and hugs gave me reason to press on. I honor my family, present with us in body, and those present in spirit, especially my late father, BJ, his brother, Bemen, and my mother-in-law, Teresa, whose values, sacrifices, and love form the very foundation on which I stand. This degree is not mine alone. It is ours, a shared victory across generations and geographies. But today, we are not only here to celebrate personal triumphs, We are here to bear witness to something much bigger, a global story of courage, conviction, and rising above the odds, because every single one of you sitting in cap and in gown today has a story of sacrifice. Class of 2025, you endure more. You weathered uncertainty, heartbreak, global disruptions, and personal trials. You studied in kitchens, on commuter trains, in hospital break rooms, and between shifts. Some of you did it while raising children, caring for loved ones, holding down 2 jobs, or fighting invisible battles that no one could see. Yet you rose to the occasion, not because it was easy, but because you believe that education is not simply about earning a degree, it's about shaping a destiny. Your endurance is the evidence, and your degree is the declaration. And so I say to you today, stand tall, because you are not just graduates, you are architects of change. As someone who now leads Liberia's Civil Service Agency and chairs both the board of the President's Young Professionals Program and the Health and Public Service Network of Africa, I see every day how policy, governance, and social systems affect real lives. What I've learned here at Adler about justice, human behavior, equity, and organizational transformation is in academic theory. It is the fuel I use to reform institutions, enforce merit, eliminate ghost workers, and restore trust in public service. And you, my fellow graduates, wherever you are going, whether it's into clinical psychology, nonprofit leadership, education, healthcare, entrepreneurship, or public policy, you carry with you the same responsibility to lead with purpose. The world needs you, not tomorrow, now. It needs your courage in the face of injustice, your empathy in the face of division, your brilliance in the face of broken systems. Do not allow this degree to be a trophy on the wall. Let it be a tool in your hand. Let it be a torch you carry into dark corners. Let it be a voice you use when others are silenced. Because if we are being honest, the world is not short on degrees, but it is short on leaders of conscience. It is short on servant leaders, bridge builders, truth tellers, and those who are not seduced by status, but who are grounded in service. So, promise me this: wherever you go from here, carry your story, stand on your values, keep your heart open, do the hard things, not because they are easy or glamorous, but because they are right. And when life gets heavy, and of course it will, remember this moment. Remember that you made it here, not by accident, but by intention. You endured, overcame, and grew. That's the kind of strength no diploma can measure, but one that the world desperately needs. In closing, I would like to thank Adler University for creating a learning environment that values equity, mental health, innovation, and activism. Thank you for believing that people like us with passion, complexity, and responsibility deserve access to education that not only transforms minds, but also societies. To my beloved family and my dear wife and children who are present here today, my dear country, Liberia, and to my fellow graduates, thank you for believing in me. And to the class of 2025, go forth boldly. Please take what you have learned, wrap it up in purpose, and go out there and change the world. Congratulations. God bless you. Thank you.
Wow, can we give him another round of applause? Thank you, Dr. Adler. Thank you for your inspiration, your words, your leadership, for being on this journey with us. We cannot wait to see the next part of your journey, as with all of you. And now for our keynote. Art at its highest form is not simply expression. It is inquiry. It is the study of how we see, connect, construct meaning. It asks us to imagine differently, to reframe perceptions, to give shapes to what perhaps we cannot see or yet to be measured. In this sense, art and scholarship are inseparable, both concerned with the understanding of the human condition and transforming it toward possibilities. As many know, we have the oldest art therapy program in North America. You can cheer again. And art and how we feel, make sense of the world, are interrelated to how the work that we do here at Adler, and we saw this early on. As we know across history, poets as artists have occupied a paradoxical space within society, venerated for their capacity to eliminate truth, yet often silenced for revealing too much of it. In this sense, art is not ornamental, but ontological. It gives us form to collective being and to becoming. It challenges, again, to rethink, to break away from the world of how we did things and how we thought before. And therein lies the connection to Adlerian thought. Art, like social interest, allows us to connect across differences, to rethink those differences. And sometimes through those interactions, art changes us, changes our humanity, changes our social interests. I follow Michelle Boone, the president of the Poetry Foundation, on the only social media platform in which I'm located, which is LinkedIn. And I have to say, watching her work has been and continues to be amazing. I am more than honored that she agreed to come to be with us today. Thank you, Michelle, and soon to be Dr. Boone, that for all that you have done and that you do for artists everywhere. Few leaders have embodied the foundational and intersectional principles of how we, and art and poetry, are so foundational to our democracy, as civil and economic development, to how we transform community engagement, and, in our words, how we rethink social interests. Michelle Boone has been profound in her work, and I think these two quotes that I found embody this connection of which I speak. This is from Boone, quote, "Poetry is art. Art in general helps us make sense of the times that are confusing, oppressive. You're trying to find a better way to understand it. So thank God poets and writers are out there to help to find a way to understand it and interpret what we might be feeling emotionally, to give us a different way of processing what's happening," end quote. And when talking about her own career and the former presidents of the Poetry Foundation and the community, she has stated, quote, "Past presidents, most of them came out of academia. So it's a big difference, particularly being grounded in local culture and community. The foundation sometimes wasn't connected to the cultural community in the way it could be," end quote. Enter Michelle Boone as the current leader. Poetry and community, art and action, well said, and a marriage to the Adler mission. We are in action. We are about community. We are about change. And we are about that kind of engagement that brings together the poets, the writers, the Adlerian ways of thinking, along with the psychology to change new ways of mental health. Before I close, I'd just like to say a few more words about Boone's career, which has been distinguished. She has been pivotal in reconstituting the structures and practices through which communities thrive. She served as the commissioner of the Chicago Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events. She has led the creation of the city's first cultural plan and launched the Chicago Architectural Biennial, situating creativity at the center of public policy and social infrastructure.
And if you're not from Chicago, we all know we have the best architecture. And at the Navy Pier, she transformed one of the Chicago's most visible civic spaces into a living laboratory of engagement where art served as the conduit for dialogue, reflection, and a sense of belonging. Now, as the first woman and African American, we have some things in common. To lead the Poetry Foundation, she continues to expand access to literature and artistic practice. Most recently, also, she has been involved with the new initiative, the Chicago Cultural Stadium, which includes new innovations for downtown Chicago's South Side, and also reimagining pathways to poetry and art. Okay, I conclude now, and I want to say again, Boone's work reminds us that arts are not peripheral to transformation, but foundational to it, and that poetry can be among one of our most powerful instruments for systemic change. Please join me in welcoming Michelle Boone, President of the Poetry Foundation, to the podium. That's some intro. I think I'm going to have Dr. Coleman redo it at my next staff meeting and at our family Thanksgiving dinner. Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Coleman, again, for inviting me to be here and for that really beautiful introduction. Executive Dean for Vancouver, Dean Brad O'Hara, the Board of Trustees of Adler, the distinguished faculty, proud family and friends of all of the graduates here today. And greetings to those of you who are with us virtually. We also celebrate your achievements and welcome your presence in this glorious theater today. As you heard, I'm Michelle Boone, and I'm truly honored to be here with you. It has been a while since I was on stage for a graduation. I last walked across a graduation stage in 1998 to receive my master's degree. But I'm really excited to join you today as this allows me to practice. You see, I am currently working toward my own doctorate, and I hope to follow suit and cross the stage to receive my hood next May. So to all you graduates, know that I feel your pain. I'm in the midst of drafting my dissertation and recently finished my literature review, and I'm closing in on wrapping up my mythology chapter. So please know that today you all are providing me with real life inspiration and motivation, and I hope to join you on the other side very soon. I'm also excited to be here because this is a day of celebration, and boy, don't we all need some joy in our lives these days. When I'm not studying, as you heard, I'm the president and CEO of the Poetry Foundation, which is just about a mile north of where we are today. At the Poetry Foundation, we believe in the power of words to transform lives. We work to amplify poetry and celebrate poets by fostering spaces for all to create, experience, and share poetry. So usually, whenever I'm invited to speak, I begin with a poem, so I hope you will indulge me in sharing one with you today. Won't You Celebrate With Me by Lucille Clifton. Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I expect to be myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come, celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. Lucille Clifton was a prolific African-American poet discovered by another infamous African-American poet, Langston Hughes. Her poem, Won't You Celebrate With Me, celebrates her identity and achievements as an African-American woman who faced obstacles due to racism and sexism. The poem explores her journey of overcoming hurdles to become her true self without any role models. And perhaps some of you graduating today also face obstacles and challenges. But here you are, you made it. Once during an interview, Clifton was asked about how she liked to be remembered. And she said,
I would like to be seen as a woman who tried to honor being human. My inclination is to try to help. Aside from her poem, Small Beauty, I was moved to share her words with you all today because, like Clifton, each of you graduates has the same inclination to try to help. I went to the Adler website to learn more about this program in preparation for today, and as someone who works in the arts and philanthropy, I was curious and searching for a connection between my work and yours. I was pleased to find that connection in Adler's mission, anchored by the tenets of collaboration, impact, and leadership. Coincidentally, the doctorate program I'm enrolled in at Indiana University's Lilly Family School of Philanthropy shares one of those principles with you, leadership, with the others being philanthropy and inquiry. And so I thought it would be fitting to speak briefly with you today about leadership and my path. Adler says its goal is to prepare students to be, quote, global leaders who improve health outcomes through applied research, community co-creation, and immersive education. Its programs are designed to prepare students to lead with strategic courage. That means today I stand before not just graduates, but in front of nearly 300 courageous global scholars and soon-to-be practitioners with the skills and training to set forth as a new generation of leaders committed to making the world a better place. And for that, I say thank you. A big part of my professional career has been in leadership positions: director, commissioner, vice president, and now president. But despite those titles, I really consider myself a reluctant leader, as mine was not a deliberate path to where I am today. Reflecting back, I think my first true leadership role came when I served as a Peace Corps volunteer in Chad, Africa. I was stationed in a small village of about 500 people without electricity or running water. No one spoke English. There were hundreds of tribal languages across the country, and while French was the country's official language, it was spoken by few in my village and even fewer women. I lived in a small two-room hut on the grounds of the village chief. Upon my arrival, he said, "Ah, you will be my American wife," as his other wives occupied all the other huts on the grounds. I was welcomed and soon was considered one of the family, but not his wife. But in the village, I was much more. Unbeknownst to me, I was a bit of the village freak. Yes, they were familiar with the Peace Corps. In fact, the hut that I lived in had been built by a previous volunteer, a guy who also lived on the grounds, but I'm assuming was not considered to be a wife of the chief when he was there. But I was viewed as this oddity to them. Early on, I would frequently be asked, "Michelle, why are you here?" And I'd say, "I'm here with Peace Corps. I'm a volunteer." And they would just step back, look at me and say, After being quiet for a moment, they would then ask, "And you've never been married?" And I would say, "No." But after about the fifth or sixth time of this questioning ritual, I answered defiantly, "No. In America, women have choices, and we don't have to get married if we don't want to." And they would step back politely again and say, Then one day they asked, "But Michelle, what did you do? Why did your parents banish you here?" And then I realized, oh, yes, I am the village freak, because they had never seen or met a woman out in the world on her own, and certainly not the way that I was there. Young girls would often be denied attending school because their families were so poor that they didn't want to spend the little money they had on their daughters to go to school, only to marry later and leave the family. There were few role models of professional or independent women for village girls. Over time, people got used to this strange woman from a faraway land, banished by her parents, because she dared to lead a life of her choosing. I made friends, led projects to install wells and pumps providing access to fresh water, and later worked with village women cooperatives on projects that generated revenues for school supplies or shoes for students. I didn't realize it then, but for those young girls and some of the village women of Chad, I was a leader. Being that far away from home was hard. Now, this was long before cell phones and before email, if you can imagine that. But it gave me the space and time to learn what it means to rely on yourself, to be independent, and even fearless, all traits of leadership that I learned then and would later use again and again. I came home from the Peace Corps with valuable lessons learned about service to others, with a newfound courage to pursue my dreams. I didn't have my plan fully figured out, but I knew a few things that I've carried with me for these past 25 plus years. I knew I wanted to be in Chicago, I wanted to work in the arts, and I wanted my work to make a difference. Now, your path may not have led you to a remote African village. Instead, you chose the concrete jungle of downtown Chicago or the internet highway. But your choice was deliberate and intentional, to invest in yourself in ways that will help others, to commit to making your dream a reality, and to serve communities of need. Your journey has created not just strategic leaders, but compassionate, empathetic, and authentic leaders of care, leaders for our souls of tomorrow. And now the time has come to put those years of research and scholarship into practice. It's also time to bid farewell to Google Scholar, citations, coding, discussion posts, group projects, and online submissions. Today, you transition from student to practitioner, from researcher to leader. You have conquered the challenges and rigors of the program, and your family and friends have survived your absence from holiday gatherings, weddings, birthdays, and other special occasion celebrations because you had a paper due, a reading to do, or an assignment that was due and kept you away. All those times of sacrifice have paid off now. Remember those times of struggle because guess what? It ain't over. Leadership is hard. You'll be faced with making decisions that impact people's lives. Your choices will have consequences for you and others. But you don't have to face any of it alone. You have your Adler family now, colleagues and peers, and faculty that have been with you every step, and they will be there for you tomorrow. Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter is quoted as saying, "A leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be." I have no doubt that Adler has prepared you all to be great leaders. I started my time with you today with a poem, and I'd like to close with one, "To Be of Use" by Margie Piercy. To be of use. The people I love best jump into work head first without dallying in the shallows and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals or field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real.
Go be of use. Thank you for sharing your special day with me today. I celebrate you and congratulations. Turning the pages. Michelle Boone, thank you so much for those words. And thank you so much for reminding us of how we can all be of use and how we go forward. I want to thank you for your insight, your conviction, your work, and reminding us that leadership is expressed through art, culture, and how we can transform and see the world differently through our connections with others in the world that we share. At Adler University, our work is guided by people, purpose, and partnership, a triangulated framework that connects who we are to how we lead and how we serve. It reflects our belief that progress depends on the strength of our relationships, the clarity of our intentions, and the depth of our collaboration. Your life work embodies these ideals. Through your leadership, you've shown that art and culture are not just luxuries, but living systems that shape how communities connect, create, and thrive. And you remind us that culture is not simply a reflection of society, but one of the most powerful instruments for transformation. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and the administration of Adler, I'd like to extend not only our deep appreciation for your vision, but your leadership and the contributions and leading the way. I would like to invite our interim provost, Bradley O'Hara, to the stage. And I'd like you to stand at the podium, stand in front of the podium. And so on this day, the second day of November 2025, by the authority vested in me as the president of Adler University, I am proud to confer upon you the Doctorate of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Be careful. Congratulations, Dr. Boone. Thank you again. Thank you again. One of Adler University's commencement traditions is grounded in the essential tenet of Alfred Adler's philosophy, of course, as you've heard about, social interest. And Adler believed that our well-being is inseparable from the well-being of others, and that societies flourish where individuals recognize their shared responsibility to the great whole. That idea is a timeless truth and urgent in its relevance and continues to guide us today. As a global institution with a shared commitment to transforming systems, through our partnerships and working with our alums, our faculty, and we work together in service of these healthier communities. We are bound together through our partnership and purpose, and this is represented by what you now see before you in terms of our flags. As you look at these flags displayed on the stage, you will see the vast array of countries represented by our graduates, and this representation of flags joins the many other countries represented by our alumni who you will join. This pictorial representation is a living testament to our global reach and shared aspiration. Each flag, like each one of you, tells a story of connection, of learning that transcends geography, collaboration, and crosses cultures, leadership, and communities near and far. They remind us that our work is not confined to a place, but is carried through people and multiplied through partnership. And now it's time. It's time. We're going to recognize these amazing Adlerian leaders and graduates, so here we go. All right, Brad, you're going to walk to the podium.
Thank you, President Coleman. Yes. Will all the Master of Arts, and Master of Science degree candidates from Adler University please stand? Families and guests, I present to you the candidates. I present to you the candidates for the Master of Arts in Industrial and Organizational Psychology, Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership, Master of Arts in Psychology, Master of Arts in Psychology, specialization in military psychology, Master of Arts in Couple and Family Therapy, Master of Arts in Counseling Art Therapy. Yes, Master of Arts in Counseling with specialization in clinical mental health counseling, Master of Arts in Forensic Mental Health Leadership, Master of Science in Sport and Human Performance, Master of Arts in Counseling with specialization in clinical rehabilitation counseling, and Master of Public Policy and Administration. President Coleman, will you declare these students graduates of Adler University?
On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, and the administrators of Adler University, I wish to extend you my congratulations upon completing the requirements for the Master of Arts and Master of Science degrees awarded to you on this day, the 2nd of November, 2025, by the authority vested in me as the president of Adler University. I bestow upon you the degree of Master of Arts, Master of Science, with all the rights and privileges and responsibilities inherent therein.
Candidates, please remain standing and approach the stage to be congratulated by President Coleman and your program director or chair. I kindly ask that we hold our applause until the end so we can celebrate all of today's achievements together. And we'll begin with the Master of Arts in Industrial Organizational Psychology graduates. Graduates will approach the stage by the flow of the printed program.
Saba Fatima. Darnisha P. Crockett. Sam Scott. Kelly Berry. Kelly Gordzitsa. Nadia Jasmine Laguide. Siobhan Smith. Lana T. Shale Clark. Brianna J. Golden. Stephanie Furlong. Kristen Nevins. Sahini Ramaneni. Capricia T. Whitaker. Brittany Gorski. Dahlia Schacht. Kaylin Sanger. Melissa Juliet Torres Ibarra. Sarah Mejia Angulo. Jessica Elizabeth Stump. Anna Marie Agron. Mia Elena Kane. Emily Honeybone. Catherine Lichter. Graciela Oriano. Rachel M. Orpano. Christina Tepic. Annalie Unzueta. Michaela Dea Wasserman. Gabrielle Wilson. Anthony T. Busby. Nicole C. Gagliardi. Nora Tucker. Roshan Jahan. Mikhail Kelly Ross. Lika Lorraine Sato Keen. Mariana Torres. Nicolette Amoros. Rahmalia Badrudin. Isabella Barbour. Jocelyn Barron. Margaret Dick. Madison Burkemper. Michaela A. Chen. Charlie Shute. Isabel E. Senna. Isabella Fernandez. Sophia Frey. Sarah Torrance Gomer. Sierra K. Harris. Stephanie Ledesma. Talea Lemon.
Yes, sir.
Madison J. Miller. Xavier J. Moore. Emily M. Oliver.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.